This is the Halo Infinite multiplayer. We're going to be doing a review of just the online component, and we will have a full review of the game, I don't know, around the launch, closer to the launch, somewhere around there where we talk about the full experience. But for now, I want to focus purely on just the multiplayer component of the experience, because I've got some general thoughts of it and everything like that. For context, we are playing on the 120Hz mode, so that means 1420 is the target, and that is the performance mode that is available, in case you're wondering about like the visuals of the game and everything like that. So the Halo Infinite multiplayer experience, and we're doing Fiesta because it's a bit more casual, shows off a bunch of the different guns in the game, gives me something to talk about here or there. Anyways, so let's talk about the experience, and again, we're not really going to be diving into some of the technical details. This is mostly focused on, hey, what does the multiplayer have to offer? What is available here, and what are my thoughts? So I should mention though, for those that are curious, because I'm assuming this will come up, there is an FOV option if you want to change it, and the performance and the quality modes, both targeting 4K. One is 60 FPS if you're going for quality, the other is 120 if you're going for performance. So yeah, the multiplayer has some very restricted playlist options in regards to gameplay. Not the traditional mode options, and I should also mention that they have officially announced that what you have here in the beta, map-wise and game mode-wise, is the full launch version of this experience. You can see that available from 343 specifically. So yeah, I think the biggest thing is after 6 years, I feel as though there's a real lack of content. It feels like this isn't a fully scoped out multiplayer experience in terms of the map size. Or like size as in the quantity of maps is the biggest thing here. So you look at Big Team Battle, which was something I think they absolutely dropped the ball on with Halo 5. It was disappointing to the highest degree playing Big Team Battle in Halo 5, and they made it sound like they were really going to care about the mode in this game, and it's got 3 maps, and all 3 maps are the exact same biome. They're not really great levels. And the Big Team Battle itself is just this like random, like almost incoherent selection of like these carved maps that basically, because there's no BR at the spawn, you're basically just wandering around, picking up guns, shooting people randomly. It's like they've turned it into a completely casual mode. There's no like real emphasis on objective play, and there's not really any objectives to really push people towards. So in Big Team Battle, I'm the most disappointed in how that mode turned out of everything, because I'm a huge Big Team Battle fan. I've played thousands of hours probably of it across the different Halo games. It's usually my go-to, and I really can't stand it in this one, which is very disappointing. So then we go to the arena, and I think the arena is actually kind of fine. You know, they've got Oddball, they've got Capture the Flag. You know, they've got things that you're kind of expecting. Oddball is round-based, is a bit weird, but, you know, I don't think it's a negative. I think it's fine. You got your Slayer. I'd like to be able to pick different options, but they'll do playlists over time, I would imagine. But, you know, at launch, it is a bit weird to have these consolidated playlists. I don't like that. So, yeah, that kind of covers, I think, the playlist options. There's custom games, but that's obviously insanely limited until they release the Forge in summer 2022, assuming they're going to actually hit that release date. You know, they keep delaying things a lot, and I don't necessarily trust them to hit that release date, and they said nothing's concrete anyways, so, you know, whatever there. Anyways, moving past that, custom games definitely feels a little lacking in options. I hope that one gets evolved a bit more, and it doesn't seem like they have, you know, all of the game types and stuff I was kind of hoping they would have. I was assuming, you know, this being a big 10-year project or whatnot that they keep getting quoted on saying, that this would have a little bit more launch stuff to it, especially after 6 years. You would expect this to be a complete Halo game, and it just doesn't feel like it content-wise. So, yeah, definitely could use some more maps. Hopefully they trickle out more right away. But, yeah, the map selection seems really limited, and I'm really bored of it. And I think in general, when you look at the maps, so, you know, we talked about Big Team. I don't like the map design. I don't like the style of Big Team Battle. I consider that one just to be a bit of a wash for me, game type-wise. I don't like it. Now, the arena, I actually think there's some really good maps there. I'm a bit perplexed as to why every single level seems to be focused on, like, New Mombasa, though. I don't know if they're going for nostalgia, but, yeah, it's kind of weird. So I actually generally like the maps. I think most of the maps are great. I hate this map. I really don't like this one. But You know, like, I think Bazaar or Streets might be my favorite, like, maps there. I think they've done a really, really good job with those levels. They feel good, they feel smooth. You know, they got lots of different lanes for you to move around in. I like that. So another issue with Big Team Battle is, A, the vehicles, well, I guess across the experience, the vehicles are useless. They're like paper mache. They fall apart like they're worthless. It's to the point where you don't even want to pick up a vehicle. And then to add on that, vehicle RNG, where it's basically like completely random to what you get when you're using a vehicle. So in the past, in Big Team Battle, you know you'd get, okay, we go here, we grab the Warthog, we go together. Oh, there might be a Scorpion there, we get to use that. Now it's like you might see a Scorpion, you might see a Warthog, you might see a Wasp, and when you get them, they blow up in 2 seconds. They're worthless. It ruins the vehicle play that I've associated with Halo for so many years, and it's particularly bad in the Big Team Battle. I definitely don't like that. So, map-wise, I think we kind of covered the maps. I wish there were more. I like what they're doing with the arena. I don't like what they're doing with the Big Team Battle maps. Again, just the flow and the design of them. So let's talk about the movement and stuff like that. Again, we're not diving in technically in that regards. We're just kind of lightly talking about it. I like how this game feels. I really do. Like, to move around, the different, like, pick-up things. I'm trying to grab the grappling hook here. Is that right here? There we go. I like how that feels. I love the running. I love the movement. I hate the AI assistant voice. I'm just kind of sticking with Chet. He's driving me crazy. I'm dealing with the insanity. That's what that is. But, you know, yeah, I think movement-wise, they've kind of nailed it. The sliding, the clambering, the shots, everything like that. That feels, you know, really good how you kind of get around and how you interact with your enemies. I think that's very, very well done. Now, I do think that the melee system is inherently broken in this game. It's very melee focused, and I think the big issue there is the succession of which you can melee and then melee again. It kind of turns this into a melee frenzy of an experience. And then on top of that, there's so much inconsistencies with the impact and the collisions of your hits, and I think that's because they got rid of the teammate sort of, you know, melee things. But we'll continue in a sec here. So yeah, I really do think that the melee system needs to get a lot of work, because it's a little annoying when I've gotten good with a weapon and I'm in a situation where somebody's hit me and I'm a little bit away from them. I want to be able to shoot them and show off that I have the precision and the marksman ability to eliminate that foe, and you can't. And I think a lot of the game, they've kind of really geared towards a more casual audience. People that kind of run around, they don't know what they're doing. And while it's good to get new players into the Infinite experience, I think this actually might be my favorite map here. While it's good to get players into the Infinite and in general the Halo universe, I think they're really kind of removing a lot of the tactical play and the design of the games in the past that really made Halo such an enticing series, at least for me, because I've loved this franchise since it came out. I've been playing it like steadily throughout the years across all the different multiplayers. And it's something I'm very passionate about, and it's something where I look and I see all these problems and they just keep like stacking up to me. Like, it's not inherently like bad. I don't want to say that. Like, it's not a bad multiplayer experience. It's just, it's not quite right, and it feels like it's lacking in many areas. Specifically, like, map content is the biggest thing there. So anyways, as I continue along, yeah, they've removed a lot of the tacticalness of how you play the game and how you interact with things, and a big part of that is the map control, and I'd argue that the map control really isn't a thing in this game. When you're playing something like Strongholds, or you're playing some other sorts of objectives, you're just basically wandering around the map, aimlessly hoping to, like, run into people. Like, Strongholds, you don't even play it like Domination. You're not encouraged to. You know, Domination, where it's like, oh, okay, like, you know, Call of Duty, where you hold two positions and, you know, you try to get things going down. The spawning system in this game kind of just makes you sort of rush around and go in circles. And the same thing with other weapons. Like, weapons are random in what you get. Like, you might play a match, and you don't even get the battle rifle, but you get another gun. And it's just, like, completely random what maps have different weapons and when you get certain weapons. And I think that takes away the idea of, hey, I learned where this weapon is, I learned what this weapon does, and I associate this weapon with a point on the map, like a tower of power that you can hold, or a spot you can hold. And they've really kind of designed it into a place where you're just wandering around the map, shooting each other, more like a casual Call of Duty experience, than you are actually sitting there, trying to hold spots, trying to watch, hey, when is this weapon appearing? When can I grab this weapon? And I think that takes away a lot of what makes Halo so special, is that you are fighting for parts of the map, or portions of it, And it seems like this one, it just doesn't matter. Now, you don't really see that example because I'm playing Fiesta, where it literally is about wandering around randomly. But again, Fiesta-wise, and this isn't part of the review, why are there vehicles and frag grenades in Fiesta? It makes no sense. Anyways, I digress. It just, like, it takes away a lot of the flow of a Halo map, where you're not specifically holding a spot, you're just kind of wandering around. Which, again, is something that's good for a casual audience, but it takes away from the, like, basically the historics of what makes the Halo franchise such an enticing experience to sort of battle with him. See, we're just going for melee instead of shooting each other. Anyways, past that, I'm just really not too happy with, like, the general flow of the game. And I like the ranked. So the ranked, you get the battle rifle. If you're wondering, you know, battle rifle, I want to start with the battle rifle. Why don't we have the battle rifle? You got to play ranked. So the joke is, at least on the channel, is that I have to become like a pro player to enjoy the battle rifle because that's how they set it up. And I think that's ridiculous that I can't just casually enjoy this game and use the battle rifle. Maybe not every match, but it would be cool to have it as a start and other options so I don't have to play straight up ranked all the time. And for context, I am ranked 4, ranked 3. I'm hovering between the two at the current point in time. You know, I'm Diamond 4 curious and whatnot, so hopefully I'll get up there past that. I'm trying to get to Onyx, but, you know, it takes time and it's not easy. But anyways, moving past, I'm not going to dive into the ranking system either. I don't really, you know, I don't think that's the perfect thing to include in the review, but, you know, you kind of get a rank and then you battle to go up and down, and that's kind of how that system is. It's fine, to be honest, so yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But that's the thing I'm talking about, though, is like the only way that I feel like I'm really doing well, really competing, is playing ranked. And I don't feel like I should have to do that in order to enjoy the Halo sandbox and feel as though the weapons and the style and, you know, the objectives matter. It's just really quite frustrating that that is the state of the multiplayer at this current point in time. Oh my god, I want to pick up this specific thing. So I think that could definitely use some work. It's just the general flow of it. Because, you know, I could play social, and I get, like, I'll go really negative, and I'll go play ranked, and I'll have, like, a huge KD spread, which is such a weird thing, because, again, the battle rifle. And further on weapons, a lot of things are really weird in this. Like, it's just really inconsistent. For objectives, I know that there was this big impassioned thing where it's like, oh, you know, we need to promote team play. That's why objectives take 2 hits to kill. That needs to be changed, because as an objective player, I'm just getting screwed out there. You know, when I try to get a flag, I can't defend myself. When I try to grab the oddball and hold on to it, I can't defend myself. It needs to be a one-hit kill. It's just, that's the way to go. And I know there's a quicker succession for which you can kill people, and that's supposed to help with that, but it's still, it's frustrating and it's hard to deal with, and I don't like that. So, looking past that particular thing, again, like I was saying, with the weapons, I think the balancing could be adjusted for a number of them. I feel like the battle rifle is quite nerfed in this one. It's not very powerful. You can still be precise and do damage with it, but it feels very nerfed. I also find that there's this sort of, like, see, I gotta, like, kind of lift up my hammer to get a hit, and I think that's a little bit too slow, and there's, like, these weird animations. So if I pick up the rockets, instead of, like, a desperation, hey, I'm grabbing the rockets, and I'm gonna kill this guy, the rockets gotta, like, hilt it, you gotta put it on your shoulder, and then you can shoot. So it gets you killed, and I'm assuming they put that in to prevent you from getting it. But I think that takes away a lot of the strategy of, hey, a last-ditch effort to grab those rockets as I'm getting shot, and to hopefully pull off the kill. I thought that was a great strategy in past Halo games. So, yeah, a lot of weapons, it seems like, really hit or miss in regards to their damage and what they do gameplay-wise. Like, the assault rifle is a freaking sniper rifle in this game. Like, you can just absolutely obliterate people from a distance. And I hate how fast we're winning these matches. And to continue on another map, which is weirdly too large for 4v4, it's very strange. Anyways, that's what I'm talking about, is with these weapons, it seems like the balancing is really hit or miss for some of them in regards to how they act. I feel like there's somebody at 343 that passionately dislikes the battle rifle. Because in every game, it seems like, well, everyone they seem to move away from the battle rifle as much as they can. So they're very much promoting this idea of pistol and assault rifle starts, just like we saw in Halo 5. And it's just a little frustrating because it's like, why are they pushing these two weapons so much? You know, like the pistol is supposed to be a good secondary that you use, but it's like a primary weapon in most situations. Same with the assault rifle. You can like clear people from across the map with the You know, with that gun, with the assault rifle, it's just weird how strong it is. And then, like, the Ravager is, like, really underpowered and kind of useless. And then, again, we got these vehicles here, and they just, like, fall apart like absolute paper mache. It's just a really weird situation in regards to how the sandbox is balanced out. And I feel like a lot of the weapons and stuff could use adjustments. I like how the shotguns are. So I felt that the shotguns were really weak during the test flight, but no, they're actually pretty good now. The Bulldog and the Heat Wave, they're actually guns to, you know, kind of be reckoned with, if that makes sense. And I like what they've done with that. And then, like, all the shock weapons, again, I feel they're just, like, really useless. You know, like the shock pistol thing, the shock rifle thing. I don't find that they're very effective. Like, there's a lot of guns in this game where I'm just kind of like, well, this is worthless, I don't want to use this. Like the plasma rifle, I think it is, that shoots little bursts of blue stuff. I just, like, it's completely useless. The commando, unless you're hip firing it, I really don't find that that one does anything. So there's this weird mismatch of weapons and stuff that just don't really have any effect on the battlefield. And it's so strange because they clearly want to move away from the dependency of the battle rifle. All these games do. Like, Gears tried it with the Lancer, and then they went back to just pushing the Gnasher in Gears 5. And I thought that was very comical. And I'm assuming this game will have a similar shift as the casual market kind of, you know, moves away over time. If they're able to keep the casual market, that's really good. But, you know, it's yet to see if that's going to be the case. And then you got your veteran players. But everybody seems really, really happy with this one, which I just find quite intriguing. Because I do have, like, quite a few issues with it. Again, I don't think it's bad by any means. It's actually pretty fun. It's pretty good. It's got its moments. But there's just some elements of it that make it a lot less fun to play. And that's particularly in the social, where I typically would spend a lot of my time in, say, MCC. And, you know, your mileage is going to vary. Some of you may be like, oh, this is just fantastic, it's the best you've ever played. That's cool, but, you know, I'm coming from years of Halo, and I'm just not quite perfectly feeling that in a number of ways. And I hope I kind of conveyed that here. Now, the next big thing we have to talk about are the microtransactions and the Battle Pass. I think this is a very important topic to kind of discuss and dive into. So, I think the idea of the Battle Pass isn't bad. And you know what? For the cosmetics, you don't need every single armor piece, or at least I feel I don't. But it is quite aggressive in regards to the leveling, and I think that it's kind of a bit of a joke that they continue to press and push this sort of XP system, where you're spending, like, I don't know, I think I've got 30 plus hours. I keep thinking of the grappling hook. I think I've got like 30 plus hours into the multiplayer at this point, and I think I'm level 11 or 12 on this battle pass, and it's, you know, it feels almost like it's going to be a full-time job if I actually care about progressing in this battle pass, which they promised it wouldn't be. And I hate that that is basically what it's come to gameplay-wise, where it's just so aggressive, and, you know, even the cost of, like, the microtransactions for the different things, like armor pieces and stuff, it's just wild. I know why they went in this direction, but it seems like to become a free-to-play, they had to sacrifice a lot of, you know, kind of the things that we really enjoy in Halo games, which is unlocking armors and everything. So that one's, to me, is something to wait and see what they do with it and how they change it. Because I would imagine the key thing that they're working on right now is the maximum quantity of extracting currency from player in regards to reward unlocks and what players are willing to play in order to unlock things. And I think that's kind of fascinating. People aren't looking at it from that perspective business-wise. So I think those are most of the thoughts that I have about Halo Infinite's multiplayer at this current point in time. I like the movement. I dislike a lot of elements of what makes up the game, though. The melee system, I think, is absolutely atrocious in this. Definitely needs some work. I think a lot of the gun balancing needs some work. I think movement-wise, they've got it down. It's good. It feels good. I like the little power-up things. Even the repulsor. Well, I like the repulsor. It's hard to pretend I like that one, but you know, like the grappling hook and stuff, and the shield. It's a lot of fun. I like that. I think it's kind of cool. And it's just like, again, lack of content. 6 years. There should be a lot more maps. A lot more. Like, Big Team Battle is just it's a travesty how that like game type keeps getting ignored, and I really dislike that. But you know, I think they've done some interesting things with it. I hope they add more vehicles. I hope they add more weapons. Like variant types like Halo 5, I think would be great, and I believe that's probably what they're going to do over time. And I can't wait to see what the long term of Halo Infinite's multiplayer is. I mean, this is the thoughts currently. If I have anything else, I'll drop it in the comments and whatnot, but I think that basically covers my overall thoughts in the game, and I hope you have other thoughts to share with me too, because I always like to hear what people are thinking of, you know, the multiplayer, because my thoughts could be entirely different from someone else's.